Hi everyone, welcome to the Home Bakers 5 of the 5 pre-recorded workshop. This video aims to help home bakers with their food hygiene rating and is delivered by the Greater Manchester Business Compliance Support. So, who are we? We are a new service in Greater Manchester aiming to support and educate businesses to get compliance right the first time, protecting the public and helping local authorities and businesses save time, money and resources. If your business handles food, it will be subject to a food hygiene inspection. Some of you may be awaiting this or already had a couple in the past and are watching this video as a refresher. Typically, an environmental health officer can visit a premises at any time to do a food hygiene inspection to issue a rating. But as you are home businesses, they will need to arrange an appointment with you to make sure you are home. The food hygiene rating looks like this. Before you can begin trading, your home will need to be registered with the council. It's free of charge and it is so important that you do register as it is a legal requirement, and if you don't, you may face legal action and be prosecuted. You may also require planning permission for you to run a business from your home, so it's advisable that you check with your council. In addition, if you are running your business of a rental property, you'll need to check with your landlord/council if you have permission to do so. And if you don't have any permission, your business will not be able to operate. Throughout an inspection, EHOs will ask you a few questions to test your knowledge of food hygiene. They will ask you to look at your paperwork and have a look around the kitchen. There are three main areas to the inspection. The first is confidence in management, and this means how well do you keep food safe. For example, what processes and systems are in place to ensure good hygiene is maintained. The second area is food hygiene and safety. That means like how hygienically is the food being handled, how is it prepared, cooked, cooled, sealed, frosted, to prevent cross-contamination and food poisoning. And the third area is the physical condition of the kitchen. That will look at cleanliness, layout, lighting, ventilation and pest control. In terms of confidence in management, you must have a food safety management system in place that suits your business. So for home bakers, a safer food, better business pack can often be too much, as bakers tend to be baking on the weekend as deemed often as low risk. The Business Compliance Support website has a template that may be best suited towards your home baking business, and that is currently shown on this slide. You're required to go through this document and fill out all relevant parts, and it also must be reviewed regularly, as often as once a month, and updated if your food operations change, for example, changes in equipment. This pack should always be available at the business and should be a working document, meaning if you've had a delivery that day, write it down. Write down if any temperature checks on food or fridges have been completed or any issues arising that day. Any sort of issue must be written down. To have the food safety knowledge required to carry out your duties effectively. It's recommended that everyone handling food should have at least a level 2 food hygiene certificate, which should be refreshed every 3 years. There are a lot of providers for this training, both online and in person, and you can contact your local authority if you need any help finding one. It's also strongly advised that you carry out food allergen training. Currently, the allergen training available is for free and it's on the FSA website, the Food Standards Agency website. Environmental health officers, when visiting your business, are looking that your business demonstrates a positive culture and that you are on board with food safety practices. The second element of what the environmental health officer will look at is food hygiene and safety. This part of the inspection is all about how hygienically the food is handled, how it is prepared, cooked, cooled, stored and defrosted. For example, are you aware of how to check if certain foods are cooked? 80 degrees for at least 6 seconds, 75 degrees for at least 30 seconds, and so on. These questions will be asked. In this part, environmental health officers will ask who supplies your food and will want to see records of the deliveries, notes made on visual checks and temperatures monitored and recorded. You should record what you have bought and who you bought it from, the quantity, date and allergen information. It's a legal requirement to have records confirming checks of the controls you have in place. There is an example and blank copies you can use in the back of the A Safer Food Better Business pack. You should keep receipts and invoice of all food purchased, As home bakers, you may use supermarkets such as Tesco's and Sainsbury's, and it would be recommended that you keep hold of your receipts or online invoices. And if you decant food like flour into a separate container, you should keep the information, such as the ingredients list, separately or attach that onto the decanted container. So if any questions come up, you have traceability information. You must confirm you have carried out temperature checks. And one way of doing this is to keep a written document of your daily fridge and freezer temperatures. You can do this in a daily diary or on a separate sheet as shown. Should you ever need a good defence in court, keeping written records of the checks would be one way of confirming that they had been carried out. Your fridge should be below a temperature of 8 degrees and your freezer should be below -18 degrees. Another thing to check on is making sure there's no damage to drawers or shelves, as that could cause risk of contamination. You should avoid cross-contamination by storing individual foods in clean, sealed containers. This stops bacteria, chemicals, and objects getting into the food. You should follow packet instructions on how to store food, ensuring you retain batch numbers of the foods you dispose of. You should also note down the use-by dates of products on the new storage containers, that is if you decant food, and it is advised that you use stickers and date food as you are prepared and cook it. Any items being kept in the fridge must be stored in a way which does not cause cross-contamination. Meat, unwashed salad and vegetables must be stored below ready-to-eat foods at all times and on separate shelves. As home bakers, you don't need a new fridge for your sellable goods, you just need to be storing them correctly. And you should also label your own food separately to your business food. Eggs are advised to be kept in the fridge whilst not being used. However, as EHOs, we understand that many home bakers prefer to use eggs that are at room temperature, and so it's recommendable that you take your eggs out of the fridge and bring them to room temperature before their intended use. Also, it's worth noting, eggs that are marked with the lion mark are also recommended as they meet specific safety requirements. The area your inspector may ask you about is food postage. You need to ensure that all stages of production and delivery of the cakes and baked goods you produce are free from microbiological, chemical, and physical contamination, and this follows on to the delivery of goods. So if you plan to use a postage service to deliver your goods, consider how you will prevent contamination and deterioration of your product before it gets to the customer. This may include tightly sealed packaging, the most suitable, fastest delivery option, cooling controls like ice packs. The two-stage cleaning should be carried out. Stage 1 is hot soapy water to remove debris, and Stage 2 is using a British Standard approved sanitizer or disinfectant with the BSEN number 1276 or 13697, followed by wiping down with a single-use paper towel. All bottles of disinfectant are different, so ensure you have read the back of the bottle for the recommended contact time and dilution, as this varies. Cleaning cloths can be one of the top causes of cross-contamination in the kitchen. It's essential to use them safely to prevent bacteria and allergens from spreading. The most hygienic way of cleaning a surface is to use paper towels or blue roll that can be disposed of after single use. If cloths are used to clean work surfaces, you must replace them after each use. They must be thoroughly washed, disinfected and dried properly between tasks, ideally on a hot 90-degree cycle. So often it is more cost effective to use a disposable wipe or blue roll. Personal hygiene is crucial to food handlers, and you need to be aware of the importance of regular and effective hand washing to ensure that your food is safe. Your premises should have access to both hot and cold water. It is ideal if your kitchen is equipped with at minimum 2 basins, but ideally 3 to facilitate food preparation, cleaning and hand washing. But you should check with your local authorities, variations may be between boroughs. And hand wash basins must also be equipped with antibacterial soap and an effective drying facility such as paper towels. On this slide, there's some really helpful information regarding personal hygiene. Please pause it to read further into it, but I'll go through a little bit. Before you start work, you should know the 48-hour rule, which is obviously if you have symptoms of diarrhea and vomiting, you shouldn't be in work for 48 hours after symptoms stop. You should be washing your hands regularly, wearing clean clothes, removing watches, jewellery, and tying your hair back. in that are wearing a hairnet or a hat. And when at work, you shouldn't be smoking or vaping, eating or drinking, etc. The structure of the property will be looked at, including walls, floors, ceilings, lighting, maintenance, drainage, ventilation, etc. You should ensure everything is in good working order and free from anything that could cause bacteria buildup or pose a risk of contamination. It's good practice to clean your vents at least once a month or more frequently if you are baking a lot. You should ensure there is no flaky paint on walls that could fall into food. You should check your worktops around the edges to ensure there is no chance of contamination. Bare wood is not acceptable in a food room as it can harbour bacteria. Here are some examples of what could cause contamination. The overall cleanliness of a structure will be assessed. Many of our homes have furry residents, but as home bakers, you will need to minimise the risk they pose to your baked goods. You will need to have considered your pets in your risk assessment and will need to be able to say exactly how you minimise the risk. Here's some things that could help prevent your pets contaminating your goods. First, it's best to keep them out of the kitchen when cooking altogether. It's good to perform a thorough cleaning routine before cooking starts to get rid of contaminants that may be lingering on work surfaces, and it's good to ensure frequent washing of hands during, before, and after cooking, especially after petting your animals. During the inspection, evidence of pest infestation will be looked for. You'll be asked about your pest control and how it is managed. You should conduct regular checks. You need to know the signs of pest activity such as visible droppings, damaged material, foul odours, structural damage, gnaw marks in walls or wires. It is good practice to have a pest control contract in place. Handling pest infestations poorly are one of the key reasons a business may be closed. If you have an active infestation, you need to contact a professional to ensure that it is adequately dealt with. As a food business, you need a trade waste contract in place. You cannot put trade waste in a domestic bin, and EHOs will ask you your trade waste contract is with and will ask to see the paperwork. This paperwork needs to be kept for 2 years and you can be fined if you do not produce it. In addition, it's recommendable that you contact your local authority about trade waste as a home baker to discuss guidance and maybe any additional support. Under Natasha's law, allergen information must be made available to customers if they ask for it. You can use an allergen matrix to document these, and one can be found on the Food Standards Agency website for free. On packaging, allergens will be highlighted in bold so you can use this information to create your matrix. There are additional requirements of food pre-packed for sale. Please check with the Food Standards Agency for further details. And any sort of additional information can be found on the Food Standards Agency, as well as their free training course. So, in summary, this video has gone through the food hygiene inspection. Those 3 areas of the inspection are 1. Confidence in management, 2. Food hygiene and safety, 3. Physical condition of the business, and based on that you'll be scored in each of these areas and the combined total will make up the food hygiene rating from 0 to 5. Failure to comply in any one of these areas will affect your overall score. Also, allergen information is crucial, so be sure you know the 14 allergens and how to manage the risks. Beware of pest control, your pets, and trade waste. Further information is available on the Food Standards Agency website if you are interested, and please check out the Business Compliance Support website as well. So this does bring us to an end. Thank you for listening and watching, and feel free to contact us directly. That is our email, info@gmbcs.co.uk, and there is a link there to our website. This question form, if you fill it in, we will get an email directly and we will be able to answer your questions, or you can obviously leave a question below in the comments. Thanks, bye.